Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of Supreme Self, the 15th Adhyaya, Sri Krishna is teaching us, going to teach us about the Purusha Uttama, the Supreme Self. And before getting into the main subject matter, Sri Krishna is telling us something about the other half of the Purusha, the Prakriti. And giving an example of the aśvatthā tree, Sri Krishna is explaining to us how this Prakriti, how this creation, how this samsara proliferates. And Sri Krishna has told us in that second shloka that coming from, spreading from top, all these branches spreading from top, the tree is nourished by the three gunas. The tree is nourished by the three gunas. The sense objects, they are the inducers of those new sprouting buds for the new growth of this tree, for the proliferation of this tree. And then the roots from top come below to the world of men and entangle the beings in the action. That is how this tree proliferates and keeps on growing, keeps on growing, keeps on growing. Adascha urdhvam prastuta tasya shakha guna pravruddha vishaya pravalaha. The roots coming from top and below. Adascha urdhvam. This tree spreads forth from below, above, and nourished by the gunas, guna pravruddha, vishaya pravalaha, the tiny buds which are just going to merge out, going to get a new growth. These tiny buds are nothing but the sense objects. They make these tiny little birds get into a new growth. And then, adascha mulani anusantatani. The roots, they come down below to the world of men. Karmanu bandhini manushaloke. Anusantatani is, they stretch forth. The roots stretch forth below to the world of men. And what it does, once these roots, they come to the world of men, they get strongly bound with that part of the soil, and karmanu bandhini. The beings, they get entangled, they get into that activity, they get into that mode of the activity, and the growth of this tree goes on incessantly. One tiny seed getting into one small tree spreads forth into a number of acres, like our big banyan tree in the Bangalore, which is spread over maybe 5 or 6 or 7 acres, one tree. And this is how the tree keeps on going on and on and on and on. You won't find this phenomena in any of the other trees, but only in the trees belonging to the Ashwattha family, the banyan tree, the peepal tree. Now, how to get rid of it? This form fixing with the world of men and binding them into the mode of action, nourished by the gunas and sense objects, they are acting like the buds. The new growth is taking place because of those sense objects. New growth of desires, new growth of attachments, new growth of temptations, and the tree is incessantly proliferating. How to control it? Is it possible? Now, possibly Sri Krishna is indicating something in this third shloka of the Purushottama Yoga. Sri Krishna says, "Na rūpamasyeha tathopalabhyate nānto cādirna sampratiṣṭhā aśvatthamenaṃ suvirūḍhamūlaṃ asaṅgaśastreṇa dṛḍhena chittvā." Sri Krishna says, this tree, this Ashwattha tree, whose beginning is not known, whose end is not known, how it is established, how it takes a foundation is not known. Nothing is known about this tree, for that matter. From where it has come, where it is going to grow, what is the next growth, and how is it existing, how it is sustained. I mean, okay, it is nourished by the gunas, but how this tree is sustained is not known. Na rūpamasyeha, asya iha rūpam na tathopalabhyate, is perceived. Its form, rupa is form, na asya iha rūpam, the form, that form of this tree here, the form of this tree here is not perceived. Na rūpam asyeha tathopalabhyate. We cannot perceive, we cannot judge, we cannot know to the entirety. What is this? Na antaha na cha adihi cha sampratiṣṭhā. Nānto na cādirna cha sampratiṣṭhā. Nānto, na antaha. Its end we don't know. Na adi, its beginning we don't know. From where that tiny seed has come and got proliferated into such a huge, mighty tree, we don't know anything about it. And nacha sampratiṣṭhā. Sampratiṣṭhā is its foundation. Where is the foundation? That also we don't know. Because this tree keeps on getting its sap from above. We don't know where is that. From where that energy is coming. From where that stimulation is coming. We don't know. Where is that foundation? So we don't know the beginning, we don't know the end, we don't know the pratishtha, we don't know the foundation as such. And aśvatthamenaṃ suvirūḍhamūlaṃ. This firm-rooted Ashwattha tree, Sri Krishna says, that we can't comprehend anything about this tree. We have no knowledge. We are just, we are guessing. Like that person Sri Ramakrishna had told in that, example. Far away from the marketplace, we are just hearing some noise, but no, nothing significant we can learn from that. Only when we come near the market. So, aśvatthamenaṃ suvirūḍhamūlaṃ, this firmly rooted Ashwattha tree, we don't know anything. It's past, it's future, it's present. What is it? We just know some way. We have a vague idea, and that vague idea is nothing but our delusion that we are seeing the tree. Now Sri Krishna says, this firm-rooted Ashwattha tree, asaṅgaśastreṇa dṛḍhena chittvā. This can be cut asunder. Asaṅgaśastreṇa, with the axe of Shastra. Shastra is a weapon, basically. This mighty tree of Ashwattha, which we don't know anything about it, can be cut asunder, can be annihilated, can be destroyed with what? that asaṅgaśastreṇa dṛḍhena chittvā, shastra of asanga, with the weapon of non-attachment, with the axe of non-attachment, we can cut asunder dṛḍhena chittvā. We can firmly cut asunder this firm-footed aśvatthā tree. This is what now Sri Krishna has also given us the remedy. Sri Krishna has given us the remedy of non-attachment. Earlier he told about getting gunatita. And he had also showed us the way how to get gunatita, by unswerving devotion. Unswerving devotion to the feet of the Lord, to the lotus feet of the Lord. That's what Sri Krishna had told us, to become gunatita. And this here again Sri Krishna is having told us about the samsara as the aśvatthā tree. The samsara as the aśvatthā tree, Sri Krishna tells us now, this can be uprooted. This tree, this mighty tree about which we have no knowledge, we can't judge, we can't comprehend, we can't think of its beginning, of its end, or even its foundation as such. This unknown entity, for that matter, which is, which has become a part and parcel of our life. This miracle, this phenomena can be cut asunder with the axe, with that weapon of asaṅgaśastreṇa dṛḍhena chittvā. It has to be firmly uprooted then. Dṛḍhena chittvā. Dṛḍhena is firmly. This can be uprooted. This can be cut asunder with that axe of non-attachment. So see how simple solutions Sri Krishna is giving to get rid of this mighty aśvatthā tree. Such a unique phenomena in this creation of the Lord, of the creation of the Purusha, this Prakriti. This we can cut asunder with the axe of non-attachment. The aśvatthā tree of mundane existence has no stability whatsoever. Every moment it is growing and growing and growing. The gunas are providing nutrition. The sense objects are luring the senses. And the new buds are sprouting. And the roots having get firmly established in the world of men, they are putting us in action. And we are so much drawn into this working of the aśvatthā tree. How to get out of it? Sri Krishna says this tree whose we don't know anything about, we don't know beginning, we don't know the end, we don't know the present, can only be cut asunder by using the shastra, using the weapon, using the axe of asaṅga, using the axe of non-attachment. Having firm-rooted a tree, however firm-rooted a tree may be, it can be felled with an axe. Now what is this axe here? Non-attachment is the axe that Sri Krishna is telling us about. Non-attachment is the axe to cut down this tree of samsara, to cut down this tree of aśvatthā. The sharper the weapon, the quicker is the result obtained. Vairagya or complete dispassion is the benign outcome of non-attachment. Non-attachment leads us to vairagya, and non-attachment also leads us to that unswerving devotion. The non-attachment leads us to the unswerving devotion that Sri Krishna had told about, that avyabhicārena bhakti yogena. And that is how the tree of the samsara can be uprooted from its tiniest root, from its all the roots can be uprooted. The spectacle of universe undergoes a dramatic change when the cognition of the mind gives place to intuition of the supermind. When we start realizing, when we use that sword, when we use that axe of non-attachment, all the reality starts appearing before us crystal clear. Whatever is the conversation going on between that buyer and a seller, which is vague till the time we are distant from the marketplace, that conversation becomes crystal clear for us, and the moment that non-attachment springs out, the moment that non-attachment gets a firm footing in our mind and intellect, in our mana and buddhi and chitta, then we can easily cut asunder this mightier bondage of the samsara. This is allegorical meaning of cutting asunder the firm-rooted aśvatthā tree that Sri Krishna has told here, and Sri Krishna has told us how to do it. How to do it in such a wonderful manner. Just use that sword, just use that axe, the super sharp edge of that axe of non-attachment. That will lead us to vairagya, will lead us to bhakti, that will lead us to jnana. And we get out of this, the clutches of the aśvatthā tree for that matter. Sri Ramakrishna's example here. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example of silkworm. Silkworm, how it comes out of that cocoon. The silkworm gets engaged in the cocoon spun by itself. That small, tiny worm, it builds its own, bonding in the form of that cocoon, gets trapped inside, and then starts feeling, oh my God, what I have done. I have trapped myself inside. Similarly, the worldly man gets entangled in the meshes of his own desires, of his own creation, that mesh. The worldly man creates that cocoon and binds herself into that mighty shell of the cocoon that is created out of those desires and passions and all those nonsensical attributes that the person possesses. But when the silkworm develops into a butterfly, it breaks open its nest and comes out to enjoy the light and air outside. When that tiny worm is evoluted to the stage of the butterfly, when that small being with so many desires, so many likings, so many attachments gets evoluted, while walking on the path of spirituality, when gets that enlightenment and becomes a person of knowledge, becomes truly a Vedavit, then what happens? But when the silkworm develops into butterfly, it breaks open its nest and comes out to enjoy the light and air outside. Similarly, when the man in bondage cuts asunder his attachment to Maya, when that knowledge dawns, when that enlightenment comes, then is the time to cut open this barrier, which is holding that beautiful butterfly away from the light, away from that open sky, away from all that beautiful, blissful surroundings. Now is the time to cut asunder the shell, to cut open the cocoon, and then comes out. Come out of that bondage, come out of that attachment, come out of that unfortunate binding life. Then when the man in bondage cuts asunder his attachment to Maya, he is able to behold the Brahman. Then comes that enlightenment. So Sri Krishna here also has taught us how to cut asunder this tree of aśvatthā, which is firm-rooted. Which is so firm-rooted, it is extremely difficult to befall. It is extremely difficult to uproot that tree. But with the axe of non-attachment, the moment the knowledge, the moment that non-attachment springs up in the person, in the being, all the delusion vanishes. Then comes the enlightenment. What is my real nature? Who am I? Should I be trapped in this, a little world of cocoon? No way. My place is there with the Lord. So I have to cut open this cocoon. I have to break down. I have to cut asunder this tree of aśvatthā and get out of it and become one with my real origin, from where I have come, from where, which is my ultimate resting place, which is my ultimate abode, to find that final bliss. So this is the third shloka that Sri Krishna taught us, with that beautiful example quoted by Sri Ramakrishna in terms of how the silkworm gets it entrapped into its own cocoon, and then finally, when there is evolution to butterfly, it is time to break open that cocoon. It is time to cut asunder that outer shell and just be free, get liberated, get into that state of moksha, get into that nirvana. Such a beautiful teaching in the third shloka of the Purushottama Yoga. Now we are going ahead from Prakriti towards Purusha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.